And prepare for a little bit of gross out factor here. In fact, when you take a look at a mailbox like this and you see all the bird feces on there, immediately you might think to yourself, yuck. When you start to see it all over the ground down here and you know how much is dropping from the trees, you might start to think that you need to duck. And if you live out here in this neighborhood and you've been complaining to the city of Carrollton for weeks now about the problem and nothing's been done, then you might think, what the... It really was, and if you've been out, you've seen a lot more people out on the roads right now because this fresh snowfall has actually provided a little bit more traction for people, even though, you know, for those who are venturing out, you should really understand that right beneath all of this snow is a sheet of ice. So if you're going to be venturing out, it is still slick, but for a lot of people, this snow was certainly a welcome sight. It really was, Brian, because we're talking about an 8-year-old girl who got off the train, as you can see right here, as it pulled into the station. Now, she thought that her family was right behind her getting off that train, but the doors closed on them too quickly. The train started pulling off, and that little girl was left at the station for 45 minutes with complete strangers waiting to reunite with her family. Right here off of I-35, and really some of the rallies and bus trips that we've seen down to Austin by supporters of public education have failed to move lawmakers on the issue of education funding. It's chilly temperatures out here, but lots of warm hearts, Meredith. Take a look behind me. The streets are already lined right now with people, neighbors, friends, relatives, people from all over the Double Oaks community who are out here welcoming them home right now, and you are seeing it live as it's happening right now. This is the red Affinity that Miss Lapscott was kidnapped in. It's being driven in first, and behind her in this town car is Eileen Lapscott and her husband Gary, and you can see her in the front seat there waving to people, crying, emotional about this return right now. No idea what this woman has gone through over the last 24 hours, being kidnapped and held in a trunk for 14 hours, driven all the way to New Mexico. This has to be just an unbelievable moment for her, not only to be greeted by her family and friends out here, but also to be driven home by her husband. An unbelievable live moment that you are watching right now as she exits that town car and is preparing to head into the house. Now, what we're being told right now is that her husband, Gary Lapscott, is going to come down and he's going to make a brief statement, a prepared statement. But in the meantime, certainly just a joyous feeling right now out here. I mean, you couldn't be happier.
This is NBC5 News.
An investigation of an alleged fake attorney now spans 18 Texas counties and multiple states. But tonight, the man at the center of the controversy says he's no bad guy. Tonight, in an exclusive jailhouse interview, Jeffrey Scott Partlow tells NBC5 about his legal work, his personal life, and the courtroom appearance that led to his arrest.
NBC5's Randy McIlwain broke this story this week and joins us live from the Dallas newsroom now with more. Randy?
Jane, Jeffrey Scott Partlow's last real job was working as a janitor, but he says he has a diploma as a paralegal. He also says he's an alcoholic and an ex-con. Just don't call him an attorney.
First question I have to ask you, Mr. Partlow, is are you an attorney?
No.
Hunt County investigators say Jeffrey Scott Partlow has been pretending to be a lawyer since 2001, representing clients, creating law office letterhead and billing statements signed J. Scott Partlow, attorney.
I've helped a lot of people, and I've had positive results. So I cannot think of anything really negative.
Partlow says he's a paralegal and a legal advocate who writes motions and other documents for people representing themselves in court disputes.
Do you take money from people?
If I have to do typing, yeah. If I have to do typing and it's going to involve my skills to write their motions or whatever is needed, sure.
Investigators say last October, Partlow accompanied one of his clients to Judge Andrew Bench's courtroom, allegedly reeking of alcohol, and told the judge he was an attorney.
That is true. I did do that to Judge Bench, yep.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know. It's the first time it popped out of my mouth.
Was it because you were drunk?
Possible.
Would you describe yourself as an alcoholic?
Yes.
Do you have any kind of criminal background at all? You ever been arrested before?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Years ago, attempted aggravated battery.
You're saying that you're an ex-con, an alcoholic, a legal advocate whose work is above reproach.
My work's very good. I was nice, kind-hearted, and I do what they want me to do. Gets put on paper, and it's done. And my clients have always won. I'm not worried about anyone having any changes with their cases that I've helped them with.
So are you saying that you panicked when you got in the courtroom here in Hunt County?
Yes.
You were drunk and you panicked?
Yeah.
So who's going to represent you in court?
I'm trying to get an attorney.
Partlow needs an attorney now, for sure. He was only being held on public intoxication and contempt of court charges. A grand jury has yet to hear the case against him that he actually impersonated an attorney, something that he's now admitted to publicly. Live in the Dallas newsroom, Randy McIlwain, NBC5.
All right.
Some Dallas students aced a test of compassion, helping to build and beautify a home for a former football player paralyzed during a game last year. What started as a chance to help one student has now grown into a movement which promises help for future injured athletes. Here's NBC5's Randy McIlwain.
Even in a crowd of people, Jared Williams can at times look lost in his own thoughts. Not self-pity, but reflecting on how his dreams have changed.
When I first got injured, I was like, what am I going to do? I thought I was going to be different.
A hit on the football field in October 2009 left the 16-year-old paralyzed. But what Williams lost in mobility, he's gained in the ability to move his peers. 40 students from 12 DISD schools are part of Project 24. It's Williams' jersey number. The students helped raise almost $96,000, 24 cents at a time, to build Williams' family a new wheelchair-accessible home. You know, those tears I see welling up in your eyes.
Yes, they are. I'm just overwhelmed at everything.
Williams' mother says seeing kids from rival schools working on her future home, wearing her son's number, should serve as an awakening about what Dallas children are learning in an often criticized school district.
They talk about all the bad things and it goes on in DISD, but now they have to kind of recant and think about what they say about our kids now, because they do care. They do have heart, and they do want things, better things for each other.
Have you ever seen something like this happen?
No, this is wonderful.
Builders of Hope and their network of contractors did some of the really heavy lifting, constructing a home tailored to all of Jared's needs. And while his mother prays for a miracle,
We believe and we hope every day that he's going to walk. I believe it, that one day my son's going to get out this chair and he's going to walk again.
you can see it on Jared's face. He's making peace with a life without the use of his legs, learning daily that he doesn't need them to journey forward. Project 24 will always carry his name.
I mean, his name is where we wanted it to be, but it's how God wanted it. It's not what we want.
If everything goes according to plan, the construction of this house should be complete sometime around December 17th, with the Williams family anticipating being able to move in here and start a new life sometime around Christmas. In West Dallas, Randy McIlwain, NBC5. Kevin, in the wake of this tragedy, there are certainly debates about banning cyclists here on this trail, about safety concerns, and even who's to blame in this incident. And then there is Lauren Huddleston, who's managed to ensure her own legacy. The Katy Trail, bustling with the sounds of healthy living, with people on the move, and a quiet memorial to a woman whose spirit is as much a part of the trail as the trees, remembered by most as she's seen here.
Always a smile.
We could not find a photograph in which she was not smiling. And that was just so true. She was always smiling. We're going to miss that.
She nurtured through her smile.
Lauren Huddleston died Sunday night from injuries she got when she was hit by a cyclist last Thursday while jogging the trail.
She was a wonderful daughter and sister and aunt to 4 little nieces and nephews.
A family tree Huddleston's brother says is expanding. Lauren is an organ donor.
She has been able to donate her liver, which she did last night. This morning she donated one of her kidneys, and later today she'll donate the other one.
Her eyes, her skin, her bones may help 100 more people.
Talented, energetic, delightful.
It won't just be words, but lives that will define Huddleston's legacy. People who one day may walk this same trail or see the leaves change.
It's amazing everything that she is able to pass along.
The young woman known for her smile, literally giving strangers a reason to do the same.
And she loved this world, and that showed in her.
Again, there is still a lot of debate about safety concerns down here, whether or not runners, cyclists, and walkers can or even should coexist on the same set of trails here. One of Huddleston's friends tells me, though, that the irony in all of this
is that the crowds of people that get down here every evening to work out is exactly one of the things that Huddleston loved most about the trails. In Dallas, Randy McIlwain, NBC5. The first steps on a journey of trust. Young Brian, a third grader at Finch Elementary, and his new mentor, Larry Robinson.
He's got great parents, great teachers. It's somebody else, an adult, that is regularly, consistently in his life, and that helps.
Robinson has answered the call of service before. He was McKinney's police chief and city manager.
I think he's going to try to catch that fire truck.
His decision to mentor children is a much higher calling.
One day with the city and working with churches the next day.
The program is 3E McKinney.
Engage, equip, and empower. That's the 3 E's that we operate under.
Robinson is one of 400 mentors through the 3E McKinney program, adopting students, adopting classrooms, and adopting a philosophy that the community must be involved in the education of its children. The 3E community are volunteers from 28 churches working directly with economically disadvantaged students at 10 elementary schools.
It's been wonderful.
Jennifer Lawrence teaches at Finch.
Their confidence grow, their self-esteem grow, and because of that, they are more confident and willing to take risks in the classroom and try new things.
Put your name on your paper.
The payoff has been higher test scores. Finch's status has improved from acceptable to recognized for excellence. Principal Long believes the difference was mentors.
It helped make it become true. It was a dream, and now it's a reality.
Okay. The only thing preached here is education. Brian is free to talk or just listen, but he can place some faith in the fact that Robinson's friendship isn't fleeting. And on days when he doesn't need him, perhaps another child will.
They'll always ask, when do I get my mentor? That's when you know you've arrived.
Randy McIlwain, NBC5.
North Texas's seniors graduate on Saturday. It will be historic for one member of the 2011 class. A lot has changed in Berlice Logan's 56-year journey from undergraduate to graduate at UNT. NBC5's Randy McIlwain has Logan's unforgettable story.
Yeah, I came here. I didn't know where I was, and I looked around. I was back home.
UNT's Chilton Hall is familiar surroundings for Berlice Logan. In 1956, she was an 18-year-old freshman living in the former dorm, one of 11 African Americans to integrate UNT.
We were grown, and we were independent, and we were going to college to get our degree.
At orientation, Logan learned while the university had opened its doors to black students, it had yet to open its heart.
They told us they didn't want us here, and you know who you are, and we were still talking to each other like, what were they talking about?
Rallies and protests with signs made it clear.
Nigger go home, pigs before nigs, burrheads go home, go back to Africa. I had never heard those things before, you know.
Logan never showed fear, but a faculty still clinging to racism and segregation did what intimidation couldn't.
Everybody was F's and D's, and I knew I could do the work. I knew I was good in English, and she gave me an F.
You left here after 2 years? You stuck it out for 2 years?
2 years of hell,
2 years of hell.
Uh-huh.
Integration remained a painful progress at UNT into the 1970s. Logan had moved on with her life, left the state, started a family. In 1997, she was in Oregon, still dreaming of a college degree. Was it stuck in your craw a little bit what had happened the first time around here at UNT?
No.
It wasn't, you let it go?
I let it go.
How'd you do that?
I had to move forward. You can't hold old grudges and move forward.
Right after 9/11, Logan took a job at UNT and re-enrolled in classes. Saturday, she will graduate with a 3.1 grade point average and a bachelor's degree in public affairs and community service. Tell me what it's going to be like to get that degree finally from UNT.
See, you're going to make me cry. I'm not going to let you do it.
Tears of joy, 56 years in the making. Logan says UNT is the same school, it's just a different world now. The journey has taught her so much, even at 73 years old, she's not ready to quit learning.
I'm going back for my master's.
So UNT, get ready.
Yeah.
Round 2.
Here I am. Not here I come, but here I am.
Randy McIlwain, NBC5.
Logan will be recognized publicly during commencement ceremony. She is the third of the original 11 African Americans to integrate UNT to receive their degree from the university.